The statement Christ the King has been quite controversial over the last few weeks, and I thought it might be helpful to add a perspective about this statement. In truth, the statement Christ the King is a declaration of belief commonly used within Christian theology to affirm the sovereignty of Jesus Christ over all creation, including spiritual and earthly realms, and that is it. It has always been that way. It is rooted in biblical references to Jesus as a king or sovereign figure, such as in the New Testament book of Revelation 19:16 specifically, and in the Gospels, where Jesus is often referred to as the King of the Jews in a messianic context. The phrase itself, without additional context, and this is key, it's not inherently anti-Semitic. To say Christ is King, to post it on X platform or any other platform, in itself, isolated, there is no way to upload that as being anti-Semitic unless you have a presupposition that colors things in such a way. It is simply a theological statement about Jesus Christ's role and authority within the Christian belief. Anti-Semitism, on the other hand, defined as hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a religious, ethnic, or racial group, involves attitudes, beliefs, and actions that are derogatory and hateful toward Jewish people. I have been a Christian since 1984 as a 25-year-old when God regenerated me, and I have never met a Christian who is anti-Semitic. I'm sure that there are some out there. But to take a phrase like Christ the King and upload it with a presupposition perspective that that statement is anti-Semitic and labeling that with any Christian that makes that statement is wrong-headed and intellectually dishonest. To assess whether a religious or theological statement is anti-Semitic, one would have to look for explicit or implicit derogatory claims about Jewish people outside of the statement, Christ is King. They would have to look at their use of stereotypes or the promotion of hatred or discrimination against Jews, meaning moving outside of the statement and seeing the greater context of the speaker's life without knowing the speaker's intention. And this is a key aspect of this. You would have to know the motivation of the heart. You would have to know what they were really thinking and what they really intended. You would also have to assess their background and the context in which the statement was made. Otherwise, it would not be fair or accurate to label the statement or the speaker as anti-Semitic solely based on the utterance of Christ the King. The assessment of anti-Semitism typically requires more than a single statement without context. Therefore, if anyone says that a person is anti-Semitic based on that statement by itself, isolated without context, then you should not listen to them. It would necessitate a pattern of behavior, additional statements, or the use of the phrase in a manner that denigrates Jewish beliefs and people. It is essential to approach such discussions with sensitivity and awareness of the complex historical and contemporary relationships between different religious and ethnic groups, including Christians and Jews. Dialogue and understanding are key to addressing and clarifying any potential misunderstandings or concerns that might arise from religious statements or beliefs. No question, there are Christians who hate Jews and Jews who hate Christians, and people hate people. We know that. Being part of any particular group does not insulate you from being a racist or being anti-anything. We all are fallen people, and we do hate people, unfortunately. But within Christian theology, that is not true. And the statement Christ is King is an accurate statement, and we should not upload it with any kind of anti-Semitic beliefs or presupposition unless we have that greater context and background, and we know the motive of the person's heart who actually made the statement.